Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with yet another rebuild in FM23, but this is a rebuild with a difference. We are using the January update, not the one provided by Sports Interactive. This is a combination of 3 files that have been put together so that you can play the game as of the 31st of January. Now, what we've done, we've got the transfer update in here, we've got the real life fixtures as well. I haven't actually done a video on this, but my good friend FMTreq has done a video on this. It's the video that I used to put the game together, so please do go and check out Treq's video. I will leave that down in the description, but that will get you and get your game looking just like this. Now, I will have to give a little bit of a caveat. We can't control the cup matches that actually happen here. We can just control the league fixtures, so you can see the loss against Fulham, you can see the loss against Man City, the draw against Nottingham Forest, the victory against Bournemouth. But what we have done is we've started on the 30th of January with no additional transfers added in, so we are all up to date. So we do have a Carabao Cup second leg against Manchester United, and then obviously the 2 fixtures against Fulham and West Ham that have been played, and then obviously the round of 16 in real life. Chelsea played Dortmund in the game. Unfortunately, they got Bayern Munich. So, but the update is in terms of the real world fixtures. Obviously, we are now 2 weeks removed from the date that we have started it, but the table's looking pretty about right in terms of things and how things are looking in the Premier League right now. Chelsea are in 10th, and if we go into the squad, you can see that we have all of the new additions. Obviously, 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙈 𝙈𝙚 is here. He's one of the players that they have picked up. Obviously, the big money deadline day signing that they spent lots of cash on is Mr. Enzo Fernández. He is here from Benfica as well. Let's have a little scroll down. Obviously, we've got Big Nonny as well, who came in from PSV. We've also got Mr. Mudryk as well, who pied off Arsenal and went to Chelsea. So we've got quite a good team. Obviously, they've spent a lot of money. And João Félix is there as well, I will say. We are definitely missing a striker. If Chelsea are listening, which they're definitely not, Todd Bowley, go and sign a striker. I feel it will help you. But what we're going to do, we are going to plug in a tactic of our good friend's GYR's. He has a plethora of tactics. We're going to use the Loki tactic today because I think the 2 defensive midfielders, I think Kante, Kovacic, I think that's a good combination to start things off with. So this is how the team is going to look. Obviously, Mendy in goal, James, Fofana, Thiago Silva, Chilwell, Kante, Kovacic. We've got Sterling, Mount, João Félix, and then Kai Havertz up top. But as I did mention, we've got about 60 wingers on the bench, so we will try and incorporate some of the new signings in the season. If we do go over to the competition tab, we are currently out of the FA Cup, we are currently out of the we've still got a second leg in the Carabao Cup, and then obviously we do have German opposition in the Champions League, just not the correct German opposition. So I'm not going to make any additional transfers this window. Obviously, we are 20 games into the season, so I've got 18 fixtures to get Chelsea as high as we possibly can. Let's simulate the rest of the season and see what happens. So here we are, guys. It is the end of the season, and we have definitely made some improvements to this team. We did lose that Carabao Cup semi-final to Manchester United. We were knocked out in the round of 16 by Bayern Munich. I believe at the time Dortmund are winning this tie 1-0, so it'll be interesting to see if that does happen. German opposition putting Chelsea out of the Champions League in real life. But we did finish in 5th in the Premier League. Man City did go on to win the league, which is a very interesting thing if you think that Football Manager is like real life. Arsenal did finish in 2nd, Manchester United in 3rd, Liverpool did recover and finished in 4th. Ourselves, Liverpool and Newcastle all on 69 points. Yep. All on 69 points, but Liverpool do qualify for the Champions League on goal difference. Obviously, Newcastle there with their 15 draws throughout the course of the season, doing the business. So obviously we're in the Europa League for next season, which is a problem because the board are supremely unhappy with that. Todd Bowley, with those high expectations, they wanted us to qualify for the Champions League, which normally at the start of the season I could definitely understand, but being that far down the league and trying to get into the top 4, I think would have been a little bit of a stretch. But hopefully I can get the board back on side, we can spend some cash and we can go on and win some competitions. If we take a look at the team on the right hand side, you will be able to see Kai Havertz was our top goal scorer with 13 goals, so fair play to big Kai Havertz. Reece James was our highest average rating, of course he was, I love you Reece. He also got the most assists as well with 6. So Kai Havertz doing the business up top. Obviously 13 goals, 5 assists. I bet Chelsea fans will wish that he had a return like that for the remainder of the season. But I think we do need a striker. Now I'm looking at the finances. We don't actually have a lot at the moment, but there is a lot, and I mean a lot of deadwood in this squad. Obviously we've got a couple of players here whose contracts expire in 2023. Obviously João Félix is going back, Zakaria is going back, but we will be trying to make as many moves as humanly possible in this transfer window, so you're not going to want to miss season number 2. Right guys, before we get into the transfers, and I can guarantee there's a lot of transfers that you're going to want to see, if you do like the rebuild content on the channel, this is my moment to ask you guys to hit that like button down below, because we are trying to figure out what sort of content you guys like on the channel. If it is the rebuilds, do hit the like button down below and subscribe to the channel if you are picking up things for the first time and you're enjoying yourself, because it is free and it does help out the channel. But let's talk about these transfers, because I have sold £171 million worth of players, and I've kind of spent 20 million of that, or of our own money on top of that, on 2 players. So let's talk about the players that we have sold. Obviously on the right hand side you can see them. I sorted them by their fee. Mateo Kovacic has gone to Inter Milan for 50 million quid. That could rise to 60. Christian Pulisic gone to Napoli for 34 million quid. Hakim Ziyech gone to AC Milan for 28 million. Ruben Loftus-Cheek gone to Real Madrid, which was a baffling one for me. Gone to Real Madrid for 15.75 million. Koulibaly gone to Sevilla, 12.25. Cesar Azpilicueta gone to Real Madrid, again for 10 million. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang gone to Sassuolo, with me paying half of his wages just to get him gone. He has gone for 2.5 million pounds. Babo Rahman has gone to Club America over in Mexico for 2.4 million pounds. Ethan Ampadu has gone for 1.3 million pounds. Timothy Bakayoko, another player, has gone to Roma for 170k. Like, I've been trying to actively clear out this club, and we brought in 2 players. Now I did say at the start of the video, Todd Bowley, if you're watching, go and sign yourself a striker. So I kind of had to, didn't I? I went over and signed Victor Osimhen, obviously from Napoli. He is 24 years of age right now. He is in the prime of his life, in my opinion. If we go into his history, you can see we paid 86 million pounds for him. He scored 7 in 17, obviously in Serie A, since all the fixtures were updated. So that is his record for last season. So just under a goal every other game. It's not too bad. Quite happy with him, and I think with him leading the line, I think Chelsea are going to score lots of goals this season. But I also went out and I spent a lot more money, £105 million to be precise, on this particular man. Now I've seen that Chelsea are actually linked with him in real life, and Editor Connor is a Chelsea fan. So it's very interesting to see that I have done very similar to what is coming out in the press, but there's no Neymar in this one, I can guarantee you. But Jude Bellingham is now a blue. He is at Chelsea, £105 million there. Obviously Birmingham cashing in lovely there, but he did really well last season for Dortmund. 7.24 average rating, and 4 assists from midfield, I would assume. So the team is definitely looking different. We've got a smaller squad. If I arrange them by position, you can kind of see them there. We've definitely got a bit of a smaller squad going, but I'm happy with the talent level in the team. If we go into the tactic and we quick pick without restriction our best 11, this is how we are looking right here, right now. So Mendy in goal, James Fofana, Thiago Silva, Ben Chilwell. Jude Bellingham comes in as that Segundo Volante. Mason Mount has dropped back into that Roman playmaker role. The 3 behind the striker, Callum Hudson-Odoi, Kai Havertz, Raheem and the Dream Sterling, and then obviously big man Victor Osimhen up top. I think we're a little bit top heavy in this particular instance. Obviously Kai Havertz, Raheem Sterling are both 4-star players, as is Reece James and Edouard Mendy, to be fair. So I think this team is looking quite good. Obviously we've got the likes of this man back. Romelu Lukaku is back from his loan at Inter. He is transfer listed for £80 million, which is his transfer value. I am trying to actively sell him as well, but if I have to play him, he will play, and then maybe I can try and get rid of him in the January. If we go into the competitions, obviously we have the 4 competitions: the Premier League, the FA Cup, and the Carabao Cup from the UK perspective. And then we have the Europa League. Obviously, we will be trying to win that one because the board are expecting us to reach the semi-final. So we better get it in order. We also need to qualify for the Champions League out of the Premier League. If we take a look at the season preview, we are 9-1 to win the Premier League. Man City are the favourites. Liverpool are in second. And we've just got the one player, Raheem Sterling, in that media dream 11. So let's simulate the season and see if we can get Chelsea back into Champions League contention. So season 2 is done and dusted, and we went off. We actually did finish in 3rd in the Premier League, which I'm actually okay with. We're showing signs of progression. Man City and Liverpool do still have really good squads, but we have managed to add 2 trophies to that trophy cabinet. We've picked up another Europa League title, beating Dortmund in the final 2-1. We also win the Emirates FA Cup. So Chelsea fans, if you are watching this, how would you fare if this was your season next year? Europa League and an Emirates FA Cup, finishing in the top three of the Premier League, I think is quite a good season, but I'd be very interested to hear from any Chelsea fans. Obviously, let's talk about this Europa League final. Victor Osimhen and Raheem Sterling getting the goals in that final. Sebastian Haller, good to see him back, scoring the goal for Dortmund, obviously getting the business done there. And then in that Emirates FA Cup final, we beat Leicester in that final. Noni Modiake and Benoit Badiashile. So obviously 2 of the January signings in the team for the boys. But I do have to touch on, we did a lot of transfer business in January, by the way. I'll talk about the players that came in very shortly. Let's arrange these by date, and you can kind of see some of the players that we have managed to shift out. Conor Gallagher has gone to Leeds United for £18 million, which is not too shabby, which I'm quite happy with because I don't think he's quite good enough to be in this team. Romelu Lukaku is now a Napoli player. He went in January as well for £55 million. We also sold Kai Havertz. He has gone to Bayern Munich. He basically opted out of signing a new deal. He said he didn't want to sign a new contract. So I was like, right, time to cash in. He had a year left, and Bayern paid 86 million quid for him up front. So we still made a profit on him. So I'm actually quite happy with the business there. Kai Havertz gone. Mendy has gone as well to Atalanta. Again, another player who didn't want to sign a new contract. He's 32 as well in game now. So he has gone over to play his football in Italy. 11 clean sheets in 19 games as well. It's not too bad. So we needed to replace him in terms of goalkeeper. We went and got Diogo Costa, the Porto goalkeeper. He comes in 24 years of age. He is our new goalkeeper. A bit more agile, good kicking, good one-on-ones, good reflexes as well. A big fan of this goalkeeper. Obviously, he's 24, so he's about to come into his peak, into his prime as we go into the next few seasons. We also signed Christopher Nkunku because I swear Chelsea have signed him in real life. But if they haven't, then this was the replacement for Kai Havertz. We sold Havertz for 86 and we paid the £56 million release clause to RB Leipzig, and here he is. Christopher Nkunku is part of the squad. So overall, transfers out 351 million. It's basically 300 spent on the way out, so that was good for season number 2, and we did quite well. Season number 3, we've got an absolute wedge to spend, 152 million quid. I'm not really sure where or how I'm going to strengthen this team, and we've got 1.8 million in the wage budget as well, so I'm going to have to go and spend some cash because I am Chelsea after all, right? So transfer update going into season 3, I thought the area that we needed to improve was at the back. I've gone out and I've signed some big boy defenders. We've brought in, and they happened quite early, these transfers. We went out and signed Josko Gvardiol. Obviously, Chelsea have been linked with this guy in real life. He had a fantastic World Cup. So we went out and paid RB Leipzig £38 million for his services. He did really well last season. 28 games for Leipzig in the Bundesliga, averaged a 7. That's the type of defender I really like. He's a monster this year if you can get the right version of him. and give him game time. I just can't wait to see what we can turn him into. We also went out and we also signed Alessandro Bastoni. He will be a starting centre-back for us, and I think Gvardiol can be an option, a rotation option. I'm thinking Bastoni for Fofana, and then obviously I'm going to have Gvardiol, Badiashile as rotation options. Obviously, Thiago Silva has left the club now. He has gone back to Brazil to finish his career, so we wish him the best. 25 years of age is Bastoni, 6'3". He's a monster. I love me some Bastoni. We also picked up Wilfred Ndidi. He left Leicester City, and I thought, that's a good midfielder for free. So we picked him up on a free transfer. As I said, he left Leicester, picked him up on a free. Wasn't great last season, but played 24 times in the Premier League. So I'm not too shabby about it. I'm actually quite happy. Then we went out and spent £80 million on this man, Rafael Leão. Obviously, it is Chelsea. We do like buying wingers. So we bought ourselves a world-class winger here. 25 years of age is Leão now, 6'2". Immense dribbling and agility and pace and flair and stuff like that. It's just what we need in that final third. And also for AC Milan last year, 12 goals, 8 assists, average a 7.55. Yes, please get in the team. In terms of some of the outgoings, we've not really sold loads. A lot of the money that's coming in is actually for loans for Andre Santos and Gabriel Sloina, the goalkeeper. So yeah, not the massive thing. Thiago Silva, as I did touch on, he has left for Brazil. He has gone to Palmeiras, and I wish him all the best, age 39. But unfortunately, Thiago, I cannot have you in the squad at that age. So if we go into the tactic, just to show you guys how the new form lineup is looking, if we quick pick without restriction our best 11, we've got Costa in goal, Reece James, Fofana, Bastoni, Chilwell, Jude Bellingham alongside Mason Mount still as the two defensive midfielders, Raheem Sterling and Nkunku and Leão all behind Victor Osimhen. That is a terrifying front four, if you ask me. And then the supporting runs coming from Mount and Bellingham, I think, is electric. Obviously, in terms of the competitions, we've got a lot this year. We're back in the Champions League. We do have the Premier League. We've got the UEFA Super Cup as winners of the Europa League, where we take on Bayern Munich. We've also got the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, and the Community Shield, as we were winners of the FA Cup. So we've got a lot of silverware on offer here. Let's see where we are expected to finish in the Premier League after spending a boatload of money. 6-1. No players in the Media Dream 11. The Media Dream 11 is basically all Man City and Liverpool, with the addition of Heung-min Son and Declan Rice. So Man City are the favourites again to win the title. So let's simulate the season and see what happens in season number 3. So there's more silverware in the trophy cabinet for season 3, and it's a weird collection of trophies, to be perfectly honest with you. We've won the Champions League, boys and girls. I know Chelsea have got a bit of a history in the Champions League, but we've got the Champions League trophy coming home. We beat Barcelona in that final, 2-1. Raheem Sterling and Reece James, two players that are actually Chelsea right now, got the goals after Evan and Dicker put Barcelona into the lead. I think we've smashed this. Diogo Costa in goal, Reece James, Fofana, Bastoni, Gvardiol, Bellingham, Mount, Sterling, and Nkunku, Leão, Osimhen. What a bunch of legends. We had 40% possession, but we smashed them. We win. Let's go, baby. We also won the UEFA Super Cup. We beat Bayern in extra time for that one as well. 4-3, and Victor Osimhen netted a hat-trick. Kai Havertz did score against us, but ultimately Osimhen, the best player. We did well to win this game, actually, now looking at the XG of Bayern Munich at 4.2 versus ours at 2.07. And we also went on to win the Carabao Cup. So as I said, adding that silverware to the trophy cabinet, Jude Bellingham and Broja getting the goals. Obviously, he is our deputy striker for the main man, Victor Osimhen, but he got the job done in that cup final against Manchester City. Annoyingly, we were runners-up in the Community Shield. We lost out to Liverpool 3-2. Salah, Jota and Luis Diaz with the goals. Again, Osimhen doing it in the big moments, which is quite nice to see. And we did finish in second in the Premier League, which is annoying, but Liverpool were really, really good in this year's game. We got too many draws, basically. 10 draws throughout the course of the season isn't really good enough. We had 25 victories and only the 3 losses. We outscored Liverpool, I believe. Yep, 100 goals for us. But we just conceded too many. 38 goals conceded. So, again, after spending an absolute boatload of money on defenders, I'm not really sure why that has happened. But let's go into have a look at the finances for next year. Obviously, as Champions League winners, we have 87 million pounds to spend, and our committed spending for next year in the wage budget is 4.8 million, and they've given us 5.4 million to spend. So again, I'm going to be able to make some additions to this team, but also a lot of the young players that we do have at the club, Bastoni, Enzo Fernández and stuff like that, will be another year older, another year wiser, another year better. So I'm hoping season number 4 is a banger. So guys, transfer update for season number 4, and I had a little bit of a problem because I wasn't aware, because I was simulating all the way through. Ben Chilwell agreed to sign for Barcelona for free. So that's a problem. I had to find myself a left back, especially because I sold Marc Cucurella to Napoli as well. So we had a shortage of left backs at the club. I sold Cucurella for £32.5 million. Yes, that's a heavy loss on him, but he wasn't playing for me. I just had to get rid of him. He wanted to play more regular football to try and play for Spain, and Napoli were the only club that bit at £32.5 million. So he is gone. So I needed a left back, and I did sign a left back, and we signed José Gaya. Now I did look at Alphonso Davies and Theo Hernandez. Both AC Milan and Bayern Munich respectively wanted well in excess of 200 million for those players. I am not spending that on a fullback. I'm just not. So if we go into the transfer history of José Gaya, we got him for 53 million quid. His wages are infinitely less as well. Much more professional, much more experienced, a seasoned veteran to play in that left back spot. He's still fast. He can still do all of the stuff that Chilwell was doing last season, but I think he's just a little touch better. We also went out and spent some more money because obviously why not? We've also got Nicola Barella. He comes in to be another defensive midfielder, so our defensive midfield core now is so I swore then, so strong. We are elite in that position now, so I'm hoping a little bit more bite. Obviously the 20 work rate, the 18 teamwork, and the heavy tackling and passing from Barella will add a little bit more back into that midfield that I think we've kind of been missing since Kante left for PSG. I can't remember if I covered that earlier, but Kante left for PSG on a free transfer. We also signed this guy as well, Nelson Wiper. He is a young German wonder kid. If you haven't seen my wonder kid videos, he is in it. He is one of my favorite strikers this year. Please do go and check him out. He's bounced around a little bit in this particular save, but he is still only 20 years of age. He went out on loan to Bielefeld, then he got a £5 million transfer over to Union Berlin. Scored 15 in 34 last season for them, which is not too bad in the Bundesliga. And then we paid his minimum fee release clause of £10.5 million. He will be our backup striker because he is big, he's 6'4", he's heavy, he's good in the air, good high determination, good personality with that spirited personality. And he's listed as a wonder kid, so I think he could be a nice little addition to this team. In terms of everything else though, guys, nothing major to talk about in terms of some of the players. If we go into the tactic after the transfer update, this is how we are looking. Best 11 going into the season. Costa, Reece James, Fofana, Bastoni, Gaya, Bellingham, Fernandez, Sterling, Mount, Leao, and Osimhen. Obviously on the bench now we do have Gabardio, we do have Barella and Nkunku. Chalobah's still here, Mudryk still here, Wiper and Didi, Callum Hudson-Odoi, Broja, Noni, Benoit Badiashile, Malgusto is still here, Andre Santos is back, might go out on loan again for the rest of the season. I don't know just yet. We're stacked. When I'm looking at this and I'm looking at the stars and the fact that Jude Bellingham has 3 stars as this Segundo Volante and looks like this, I think we're going to have a good year. I think it's going to be our time. If we go into the competitions, obviously we've got a lot on our plate yet again. We do have the Premier League, obviously. We do have the Champions League. Obviously, as winners, we will be trying to retain that Champions League trophy. The Super Cup, where we take on Arsenal. They won the Europa League, so we'll take on them. Emirates FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, and the Community Shield yet again. So it could be another trophy-laden season. In terms of the Premier League, the board want us to qualify for the Champions League, and we are now second favourites for the division, with Raheem Sterling making another appearance back in that Media Dream 11. But Man City are still the favourites. So let's simulate the season number 4, and see how we get on. So guys, guys, I'm not going to beat around the bush. We absolutely annihilated things. And I will say, it is really nice to do a rebuild when I actually get to spend a lot of money, because this has been really, really fun for me. Look at all the trophies that we've won here. Obviously, let's start at the start of the season. We win the Community Shield. We beat Liverpool in that final, 4-2. Gaia on his debut, Mount, and then Darwin Núñez scored 2 for Liverpool, but they didn't have Alisson in goal, so I'll take it. We win the trophy. It's fine. We also got to stop us getting the clean sweep. We got knocked out in the 3rd round of the Carabao Cup. Annoyingly, that was by Manchester United. What was the score? 4-3 as well. Yeah, Mudryk going off with the hat-trick, but we still go out at Old Trafford, which is disappointing, but it does happen in cup football. We win the FA Cup. We get that one for the 2nd time of the video, beating United in that final. 2 for Mudryk, 2 for Fernández. Looks like January transfer business was good for Chelsea. Just give it time. They've signed the right profile player. Just give it a little bit of time. But the boys did well in that FA Cup final. We win the UEFA Super Cup as well. We beat Arsenal, the Europa League winners. In that one, Odegaard got the goal for Arsenal. Osimhen and Leão with the 2 goals for us. We also played Arsenal in the Champions League final. We did go back-to-back in the Champions League. Victor Osimhen and Ndidi and Harvey Vale got the goals in the Champions League. So it's nice to see a youngster coming through, a free transfer, and then a man that we spent an absolute wedge on. But we did beat Arsenal in that Champions League final. And then in terms of the Premier League, in 4 seasons, we finally managed to get our hands on a Premier League title. As you can see, though, if you look at the goal stats and stuff, no one in the top 3 goal scorers, no one in the top 3 average rating. Mason Mount with 12 assists, which was the 2nd best, or joint 2nd best in the league. We were just good and consistent throughout the whole year. We turned some of those draws from last year into 3 points. Only the 6 draws this time around, 4 losses, 92 goal scores. Wasn't as good as last season, but 28 goals conceded. We definitely tightened things up at the back. And this squad is elite tier now. Like, if we go and have a look at the tactic, like, we are just so damn good. Mason Mount, 4.5-star player. Reece James, 4.5-star player. Obviously, the Chelsea boys through and through have been doing really, really well in this tactic and in this save. If you wanted to pick this one up, you'd have 60 million to spend for the next season, which isn't too bad, but ultimately you've kind of won it all. If you did want to pick this tactic, this save up, it is live in my Discord, or will be live in my Discord not long after posting this video. You can check out that link is in the description. If you do like the rebuild content on the channel, guys, go and check out this playlist. It's got all the rebuilds that I have done in this year's game. But until next time, guys, take care, have a good rest of your weekend.